for you, Serena. It's kind of a funny one, but when our friends are in quote-unquote la-la land, I don't know how familiar you guys are with that term, but I think so. When our friends are in la-la land, they often forget to be considerate and sensitive to others. How can we avoid falling into that same pattern once we're in that stage of life?
Okay, so this is something that I have observed quite a bit and thought about quite a bit, and thought about, well, it kind of bugs me when they're like that. What would I do differently? Like, and so a few of the thoughts and ideas I had were to be intentional about including your siblings and friends in activities. Don't just have it be all about the two of you. But think about how you can include others and structure activities that you plan together so that your friends and siblings will feel included and not just like they're being dragged along. And that will take some effort and thought. Like, you really have to go the extra mile with them in order to make them feel like you're doing it on purpose and that they're not just there while you're doing your thing. It really does take some thought. And then also be mindful of not disappearing from the group to pair off when you're in a group setting, when you're participating in group activities. Recognize that it's still okay to mingle with others and that you don't always have to be right with your fiance or boyfriend all the time. Learn to be present and joyful regardless of whether he's right there with you or not. And then instead of always planning activities for the two of you to do together, think about what would be a good way to spend this time. It's valuable time. You're not married yet, but you're going that direction. And what would be the best way that you could prepare? Yes, there's time for alone time with the two of you together, but one idea I had is consider inviting an older couple out to dinner with the two of you, and then make a list of questions to ask them. And put some thought into it, and just ask them what advice they'd give you as you're preparing to take the step of marriage. And I think all of those things are going to require you to be intentional and are going to require some conscious effort and thought. And yeah, there's going to be plenty of times when you and your fiance will just want to be alone and talk alone, and there are times for that, yes. But I would say don't forget that marriage is a lifetime commitment, and you're in this for the long haul, and there's going to be times when you're definitely going to want and need the support of your friends and family in order for it to be successful. So start including them right from the beginning and make them a part of it.
Yeah, that is really, really good points. I can tell you've had lots of practice observing other people going through this. That's very good, thank you. So what are some ways that you have found to welcome and accept the fiance or boyfriend of your sister or your friend?
Okay. So yeah, this one, I would say I probably have more experience within family than with friends, because a lot of my friends met their future husband when they were at college or whatever, and so a lot of times they worked right in the area, and so they would meet them, they would move away, but within my family I've had a little bit of experience with this. And I'll just say right away, like, it can feel very awkward, like, how do you do this? Like, it's just, it's awkward and difficult to relate, and so again, it's going to take this time some effort on your part, which feels weird because you're like, well, they should be the ones that are including me, right? Like we just talked about. But it doesn't always happen that way, and so then you have to be the one to step out and make an effort. And remember that he probably feels a little bit awkward too, and isn't quite sure how to relate either. And so, just as a practical idea, one thing you could do is to set up a date for them, and have yourself there as a voluntary chaperone. Which, it probably will feel a little bit awkward, but yeah, you have to put yourself out there a little bit, you have to step out, you have to make some effort. And so, if you plan it, you can invite yourself along. I don't think they'll complain, no. So, that's just one idea of a practical thing that you could do. And then, just like, try to be welcoming and including of him, because he might need your thoughts or advice on planning surprises for your friend or sister. And there's some things that he might want to know that he doesn't want to ask her directly, but he could go to her sister or her friend and ask them. So there's opportunities to be welcoming to him in that way, and then you can be also helping your friend or sister.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some ways that we can pray for our friends who are in relationships?
Well, when I think about praying for friends, there's one prayer right in the Bible that comes to mind a lot that I think is just all around a good one to pray for anybody, and that's in Colossians 1. So we'll just look there. In verses 9 through 11 it says, "For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that you might be filled with the knowledge of His will, in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you might walk worthy of the Lord, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God, strengthened with all might according to His glorious power, unto all patience and long-suffering with joyfulness." And that's just a good all-around prayer for anyone, anytime. But some specific things for someone who's in a relationship would be to pray that she will use her last weeks or months as a single woman in the best way, and that she'll recognize what is most important, what's most valuable during that time, that she would manage and invest her time wisely and set her priorities as God would have her to. Pray that she'll seek the Lord first, continue to seek the Lord first, and if she does this, then her relationship with her fiance and with her future husband and everyone around her will be what it needs to be. So just praying that she would continue to seek the Lord. And then also just pray for her to have peace of mind and to seek refuge in the Lord as she goes through all the emotional stress of wedding planning and just making the transition from single to married life, because it is a big change. And there's a lot of things that she doesn't know, and things that she'll find out, and it's not always going to be easy. Like for those of us that are single and looking forward to that, we think, oh, it's going to be wonderful all the time. But it's really not, and there will be struggles and challenges. So, yeah, just pray that she will learn to start taking her struggles and burdens to the Lord now, so that she'll find out that her husband isn't the end-all be-all for all of her questions and problems that she has, and that she needs to be taking those things to the Lord. So, and it's easy it's easy to think of just talking to your boyfriend about it, but yeah, just learning to continue taking things to the Lord, and then just beyond that, of course, offer to help her too. Be there to support her. She may not realize it right now, but at some point she will need your advice, your reassurance, your ideas, even just your shoulder to cry on. And that's going to continue after marriage too. Yes, her husband, it's the Lord and then her husband, but she still needs her other friends too, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you mentioned praying for her to have her focus on the Lord. And that brings me to the last question I have for you, which is, in your experience, what are some good ways to help your friend keep her focus right, instead of being totally consumed on her boyfriend or fiance having her focus on the Lord.
Okay, so yeah, we did talk about this just a little bit. But just encourage her to maintain her time with the Lord. A lot of times, courting or engaged couples will enjoy doing their devotions together. And that's cool, that's a good thing, that's neat, they should do that. But equally as important is for her to maintain her own personal devotion time with the Lord, with just her and the Lord. And to continue to be involved in the daily disciplines of Bible reading, prayer, memorization, meditation, all those things. So you might keep her accountable in those things, and maybe ask her to do the same for you, because it'll help you too. And then this kind of goes back to what I said in one of the earlier questions, but for her specifically, encourage her to seek the counsel and advice of older godly women, just one-on-one, her and them, or you could do it together, because you can learn too. So the two of you could meet with a godly older woman, and maybe you could arrange a tea or coffee outing for that. So,
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Those are awesome answers.